Welcome on back, everyone. I found a very sizable cave underneath the island. I believe this is actually underneath the farming area of the island. Just absolute ton of ores. I've already done some light mining here, but there is still just so many of various different types of ores down here. So that's a lot of stuff for me to be mining up and then doubling. So let's rework our system here. The main issue is having to craft ore hammers and needing to work out a way to either automate crafting ore hammers, having only one hammer in at a time, or this. So I've readjusted the squeezing situation, moved it on over here. I can drop everything I want to squeeze into a nearby barrel. And inside this chest, I have a stack upgrade, so we can hold 4 stacks worth of items in one slot to give like way more space in that chest. Now what I want to do here is start getting into occultism to get our ore smashing done. So kind of off screen, I've done the head start of some of this stuff. I'll show off what I've omitted. But on the whole, you will find randomly demon seeds. And just notice that these oak logs say that they're from occultism and not Minecraft. But anyways, you find yourself some demon seeds, you grow the crops. I've been having some issues with my Starbuncle, mostly in the fact that it keeps teleporting above the harvester and getting stuck, so that's why I have the dirt there. But anyways, so the demon seeds grow these fruits, and there's different uses for these fruits. One of them is you set them on fire and it makes spirit fire. If you do that over andesite, the fire will be permanent. The other use is eating it, and then these trees that say they were from occultism now have other wood on them. And I believe it also turns andesite into other stone. To be able to grow those trees yourself, you would need to throw some saplings into a spirit fire. And then as for the other stone, you can throw andesite into spirit fire. So I just went with that instead of wandering around trying to eat fruit and mine andesite. And then you need spirit gems, which requires an emerald, or a diamond, sorry. And nice, we got a free pet cat when I find some fish. So yeah, now that we've got all that done, I've gone on ahead and gathered things needed for the next step here. To make the purified ink, you need to throw black dye into some spirit fire. Combine that with some white dye and a book and quill, and you get yourself a book of binding. Then you would need the occultism book, which I don't actually have in my inventory. I thought I did, but I did not. To make that, you just need a book and some demon seeds, so just do that off screen real quick. Or at least fetch the seeds off screen. Thankfully the book isn't used up. Then we'll need to put some candles, which is 2 tallow and a string, or 1 animal fat and a string, depending on what tool you use when you kill an animal determines if you get animal fat or tallow. Now to get the dust here, you would need to throw or smelt other stone, and then I believe burn other wood. Then we combine 5 other stone to make a bowl. Combine one of those bowls with gold for a sacrificial bowl. And we're pretty much on our way there. Just need to use those dust, or the ashes, I guess, to make ourselves an impure chalk. And then to purify that chalk, we gotta chuck it on into the spirit fire. And with all of that equipment ready and everything set up, we can now start actually making our ritual circle. Just trying to gauge the space here. So it would be 2 squares of chalk in the 4 cardinal directions, and then a candle at the top of each of those. And then you would connect those with more chalk. And then finally, we've got to put down the bowls. And now for the material sacrifices. 1 gold, silver, iron, and copper is needed. And then we'll just toss that book right in the center. Then you just gotta wait. I'm sure this would have looked way more thematic if I had those candles lit, but eh. And there he is. Doesn't he look absolutely gorgeous? So the way these guys work is you just hand them some raw ore. Looks like I have something else in mind though. Alright, upgrading an iron chest to a golden chest. I'll place that nearby. And look at how much inventory space it's got. And it's got slots for 2 upgrades. Alright, and then I need, of course, a way to transport the things that he crushes into a chest. Starbuncle will work out perfectly. And the way to access this guy's inventory is you have to shift and right click with nothing in your hand. And off he goes. Probably best to make sure these 2 are closer. You can't shove the starbuncle around though, so gotta shove this guy instead. And just like that, or doubled without the use of hammers. Now there is a downside to this, and you don't have to continuously remake hammers, but they do decay over time. I'm not too sure how long it takes before the spirit decays and you'll need to resummon it, but I think I've been playing for about an hour or maybe even 2, and I'm not even at 20%, so should be good for a few hours. But now that we got all that ore waiting to be processed, I need a better way to store all of my stuff. So we're going to go down the refined storage route, and on the whole, we're going to need a lot of quartz. You can get this Certus quartz stuff, but I actually haven't found any yet, strangely enough. And not only will you need quartz for silicon, but you also need quartz to make quartz enriched iron and a bunch of other stuff. So I think it is time to make a little trip to the Nether. But before we start heading off that way, let's just grab some of this brilliant fiber. It's from Nature's Aura. It uses, to make it, you need grass, leaves, and some gold nuggets. And we'll just plop some of these on top of the various trees around here. And we'll worry about all that later down the road. Now, off screen, I found a few other abandoned nether portals and just took their obsidian and moved it on over to the one close by to the base. So really, just ready to go. Just gotta light that sucker up. Then I had to make sure I had a golden helmet on before I walked on in. Oh man, this seed is beautiful. A Quartz Desert just right here at the gate nearby. Meaning that I'm gonna find the quartz I want real quick. Also, there's these raw quartz blocks, which should sound amazing, right? It's raw quartz. Unfortunately, it is strictly a decorative block. Completely useless for anything. Something that kind of drives me nuts with mod packs is they introduce like all these different types of blocks. And some of them will be made out of like rare materials. And it's just a decorative block that you can't break down to get the material back. Now, before I go too crazy exploring, gotta set down a waypoint to let me know where my portal's at, because I often get lost. And I'm just gonna throw down whatever cobblestone I brought with me, just to shield me from any ghasts that might be flying around. And as for the quartz sand, it's also like, you can't use it to generate yourself extra quartz or anything. It's just regular old sand. Sand that isn't subject to gravity. I noticed this little guy right here. Free spawner. Bunch of gold. A R's spell book with a poison spell, and then a enchantment book with a poison enchantment. But typically health in Minecraft never really necessitates a damage over time, really. It's like, yes, I could have this thing be poisoned, or I could just hit it 2 more times and it'll die. Also, does poison even work against, like, the undead mobs in this game? I'm not sure. Maybe it has some practical uses in PvP. Because I do know, I've seen spells that are, like, increases hunger on target. I'm like, why would I ever want to use that on a mob? And another reason I want to come here to the Nether is to grab mushrooms. I need mushrooms for some things. And I've been having terrible luck finding any while exploring. And hey, while we're in the area, getting the warped and crimson logs here, as well as a few of the mushrooms to grow back at home, would be nice. That's more wood that can't be burnt and is a different color than gray. Be fun to decorate the house with different colors of wood. And I believe these blocks can be used for power later on, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of each to bootstrap my biofuel generation later. Really what I should have been grabbing is some of those shroom lights too. Then I realize I'm heading in the opposite direction of what is very clearly a nether fortress showing up on the map, so time to turn back around and oh, there's been a temple here this whole time. Pardon me, sir, or madam. Temple's got a portal in the middle of it too. Huh. Anyways, oh god damn it. God damn it. Well, there goes all that loot. Yeah. Well, knocked a bunch of quartz down there though, so may as well hop on in and grab whatever. Now, just gonna cut some more exploring. So I head all the way out to the west, where we finally hit like the lava sea. And that'll be useful because the create mod has an item where if it goes into a body of liquids where there's, I believe, 10,000 source blocks of that liquid, I think it's the hose pulley will consider that an infinite source, so I can get infinite lava. And then something I don't think I've shown off yet with Ultimine, very useful, is that besides the shapeless feature, which will mine up to 64 of matching blocks, you can also mine upwards or downwards of like a stairwell. So yeah, at this point, I was trying to find a way that didn't require digging to get to the fortress, but after a point, it's just, time to start carving out a stairway. And this desert, this quartz desert, really extends out pretty far. I'm not going to be hurting for quartz anytime soon. So there's a little bit of the fortress right there. Let's see if we can't find a proper entrance. And yeah, at this point, I'm now just running around in circles. But hey, more of the fortress. Seems that if there is a proper entrance, it's going to be down below. But, I mean, since I'm up here and all, I have a little debate with myself. I am extremely disappointed that this mod pack apparently doesn't have the rope ladder, which is, letting you build a ladder just instead of building it from, needing to face the wall, place it directly on the wall. You can just throw it over an edge and it'll auto build for as long as you have the rope for, or until you hit flooring. And this is an extremely risky thing that I'm doing, because at any point a gas can spawn somewhere and launch me directly off into the lava. Also interesting that quartz still grows on top of the nether bricks. But hey, gold bars. Remember when I mentioned how some mod packs will add stuff and it's just cosmetic? Those gold bars are an example. I can't melt the gold bars down to get gold. You can melt down iron bars, but not gold bars. Hey, I just want to mention in post, when I say you can melt down iron bars, I specifically meant in Tinker's Construct. But that is not an option in this mod pack, so this point was entirely moot. Just checking around to make sure there's no wither skeletons about before I hop on in. And a quick little getaway if I need it. Man, these chests have just a lot of pneumatic craft stuff. But also there's some silent gear ores or metals in here. I do need a handful of those. And just to address the things like that, those are Apotheosis bosses, which are basically like souped up mobs. And depending on the color of their name, they can be quite tough. In particular, if I were to happen to come across a, what are they called, hoglins? A purple hoglin, I would be in extreme trouble because they tend to have hundreds of HP, move really quick. I'm taking quite the risk peeking over like that. And yeah, just not good times. And there they are. Oh, I just heard a gas as well. Fantastic. Let's take some shots. I'd just like to mention that this is a brass bow, or a bronze bow, that I made with the silent gear stuff. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't got any milk on me, so I really don't want to be fighting these guys. And I don't want any surprises from behind, so let's just wall this up. Damn, how did that guy get a second shot on me like that? Yep, this is what I was fearing. Wasn't too bad though, but still. I'm not really equipped to really explore this. I mainly came here in the Nether to get myself some quartz, so I'll be taking off here in a second. Then it's just the issue of how do I get back? And I guess the answer to that will be just carving escape tunnels out. Unfortunately, that stairway heads south. I want to head east. So here we go. Just close this area up, why not? Gotta say, I'm gonna have a ton of glass when I get back home with all this quartz sand. Then I notice, hey, there's a way more accessible part of the fortress here, so let's just slap down a waypoint. And since I'm in the area, I may as well try out some bartering. What you got for me, buddy? Could have sworn you used to be able to trade with these guys with nuggets. Guess now they only need, or I guess in this mod pack at least, they demand bars. I didn't realize I already had a bunch of bars. Thanks. For leather. I think I've spotted a more accessible part of the entrance, so another waypoint down. I'm just gonna grab whatever quartz I got left on my way home. Then I realize, where is my portal at? And it's kind of a problem when the damn marker you have for it is the same color as the terrain around it. So it's just cut me wandering for like half an hour. Now that we're back home, gonna automate this dude a little bit more. What we're gonna do is throw down these Omni hoppers, which I've found in various villager houses. And I realize, oh, it's dropping coal in here. Now I'm trying to figure out where the hopper went. And it just turns out that, man, that starbuncle is very quick. So let's try this again. Gotta set it up right to make sure it'll drop stuff down. Then you'll need to make this here upgrade, which requires a fermented spider eye. That's what I need mushrooms for. Slap that on in. Then we'll take a wooden slab and a piece of wool to make a seat. And then grab a lead and make the guy sit down right there. So we see he has 31 copper ore. Drop that in the hopper. And it's dropping right on into him. Now I see to run a pipe into the hopper. And well, we can see that it's throwing a bunch of zinc, I believe, in there, but that's fine, whatever. Now it's totally automated. Outside of having to come in and occasionally resummon the crusher, my ore will be squeezed and then automatically doubled, and the starbuncle will automatically store it all in a chest. So now that's hands off on me. And once I start setting up any automated mining, I can just hook up the results from that into the barrel that I throw all my stuff in. Now, let's finally make ourselves some refined storage stuff. There is a lot of different items that you have to get set up to make the refined storage stuff. Those various, like the blue, green, and or a blue, yellow, and red little diamond looking like things, shaped things there. I cut most of that out because it's very tedious. It's ultimately like redstone, the binding thing, which is slime and 2 strings, and an ingot of some sort, and a 4th item. And then you usually have to throw them into a furnace. So it's very useful to collect the rewards off the quest for these, because they might just give you those items and spare you from having to make them. But now that we have the controller, we've got to make the actual disk drive. It's weird to say, but everything's made out or stored in disk. On the upside, this means you can just remove a disk and move it into another drive if you want. Then I just need a chest. I always have a shortage of those. It's mostly because the wood I like using can't be made into chests normally. Alright, almost there. We've got the controller, we got the storage. Now we just need a way to actually access the items. And to do that, we need to make a grid. And I have no glowstone. I was in the Nether and I did not collect any glowstone. So, one quick trip back. Now there is a better version of the grid, the crafting grid, which basically lets you make or use the crafting table in there. The issue is it needs a diamond. I have exactly 1 diamond left, so I'll just have to go without for now. Now we just need to get power to this thing. I'll just go ahead and grab one of the furnaces I've got going here, since they're not really being... I have 2 of them there. I don't need both of them there. And I don't know why I thought this would work. Let's fix this up. I guess I just assumed the power would transfer between either the grid or the disk drive. And there we go. I'll need to make sure to throw some coal in there every now and then. But there is one more thing. I made a disk drive. I didn't make any disk though. Now the starter storage unit is a measly 1K. So we're going to go with the 4K one first. And then to make that, you need to make a bunch of the 1K parts, so no escaping that. Well, it's not too bad. Silica, quartz enriched iron, and glass. Redstone. Yeah. Slap that sucker in, and we now have 4,000 space for everything. I can throw everything I want in here and it'll all be easily accessible. It's got a search bar and everything. It's great. So I can start taking like all these different chests and just start throwing everything into that grid, which is what I'll be cutting out. Now I know this video is going on pretty long, but there's one last thing, because we got the ore being doubled, you know, squeezed, doubled, and then delivered to a chest. We just need them to actually be processed. So nearby, we're just going to start carving out a little square. Actually, quite a sizable square. I got a bunch of various create things here on me. I just need to know where I need to be placing everything. throwing down 2 shafts and having them angled like this, you can attach these mechanical belts, which are made out of dried kelp, to carry any items from that chest and then along this processing line. Let's speed things on up here. So you'll want to have space for iron bars, space for lava, space for the encased fans, and then space for the blocks that'll deliver rotational force. Now I made a mistake here and I used gearboxes. I mean, they kind of work, but how it is one fan will blow and then the fan next to it will suck in. So what you'll actually want to use instead are encased chain drives. I fix that up a little bit later, but for now, here's what I have going on. So I got 10 fans, 5 on each side, that will eventually all be blowing onto the belt here. And then we're just going to tell the star bunkle to deliver onto there. Items are moving along the belt line just fine, but I don't want them to do that right now. We'll hold off on that. Then we'll just move the chest on over. No, I don't know why I'm going to be using a gold chest instead of just a regular old chest. But I mean, I'm doubling my ore, so running a shortage of gold or iron ingots isn't going to be an issue anymore. Slap that on in there, and there we go. Everything is now delivered into this chest. Now this is me fixing my error with the encased chain drives. The way those work is that you only need to deliver rotational force to one part of the block, and then all the blocks adjacent to it will also get force. But then you can also rotate one of them to deliver force up and down instead of side to side. So that's what I did there to get force going in on the other side. So now we'll just throw some magma here in the middle. And there we go, full-on blast furnace. Let's see it in action. Now, I went for 5 because I recall needing that much. But these things smelt quick. They smelt at like by the second row, so only 4. I don't know if something has changed since then, but I swear I have built this exact thing before on another mod pack, and any less than 10 just didn't work. So now we have this system that the ore is squeezed, crushed, delivered, smelted. Now we just need to get the ores from this chest into storage. I just want to make sure there's a light in here. So now we just gotta dig ourselves a little side entrance here. And show off these cables. Which, again, more enriched enriched iron. And you'll want to slap an importer on the chest. And then just start slapping down some cables. Once again, let's speed on up. And now, once we get it all connected, as an importer states, as the name implies, the items will then get imported from whatever container into the system. So now we have copper coming in. And I'll just leave that here for now. This video is already 40 minutes. I'll do a little more finagling a little bit later because I'm about to run out of space on the 4K drive I have right now. And that's not even bringing in all the ingots I have in the basement. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing this system be built. Be seeing you all next time.